everyone, Ruthie here, and welcome back to my channel. After breastfeeding 2 babies, I feel like I've collected some of my own tips and tricks along the way. So I wanted to share all of those with you today. And of course, I'm gonna be sharing all the things that I use and including the links down below. All babies are different, and some things that worked one baby will not work with another. My journeys with each one were totally opposite. If you're interested in my journey, let me know. I'll make a video. I don't know if people want to hear all about that. But there are a few things that are in common. So I wanted to share kind of my must-haves with you all today. My tip number 1 is that your milk will take a few days to come in. Most women, I think it's average between 3 to 5 days, but it can take as much as 7 days, especially if you're a first-time mom. So don't be alarmed if your milk is taking longer to come in. That does not mean that you won't be able to breastfeed. However, you wanna make sure your baby's fed at all time, right? Fed is best. This video is not gonna preach to you whether breastfeeding or formula feeding is better. I really believe fed is best. I wanted to share some items that I have found that really helped kind of with dealing in that phase of before your milk comes in, or encouraging it to come in. A baby scale. It really helped to ease my anxiety and making sure that my baby was getting fed. So what I would do is I would weigh the baby before, I would nurse the baby, and then weigh them after, and I could see how much the baby was taking in on an average. I know that Hatch now has a changing pad that is also a baby scale. So you may want to explore looking into that, and it's like a 2-in-1. I would not encourage to weigh them every single feed or every single day. They do fluctuate, but just weighing them throughout. And basically what I do is I put them in a nice clean diaper. I zero out my scale with a diaper on top, take the diaper off, and then put the baby on it. I do keep a nice burp cloth on it just to make it a little bit more comfortable for the baby. I also put all of the weights and stuff into this baby tracker app. I think this app is a must if you are planning on breastfeeding. First of all, you can track every single time that you feed the baby, what side you started on, how long you're feeding them, how long has it been. You can also share this app. If the baby's crying in the middle of the night, your partner can check the app and see, oh, she just fed him 30 minutes ago. Maybe that's not it. Maybe I should change a diaper and help you out. Until your milk actually comes in, my tip is to have a little bit of formula on hand even before the baby arrives. Now I know what you're thinking, this is a breastfeeding video, why are we talking about formula? But it really is just that kind of security blanket. Giving your baby formula does not mean that you need to end the breastfeeding journey, and it does not mean that you will always need to keep giving them formula. With both my children, I started out with supplementing just some, and then over time I was able to take that away and ultimately just breastfeed. I really like these pre-made formulas. Similac and Enfamil both make them. Just because they have a really good shelf life. You just unscrew it and it's ready to go. But you can also get one of these. Both Similac and Enfamil will actually send you free formula. I'll have a link down below where you can sign up and they'll just send you some for free. If you don't use it, just give it to a mom in need. And then next, to kind of as your milk comes in, you're probably gonna want some kind of pump. I'll have a video all around my pumping 101, but in general, I feel like using this in the beginning can help either with engorgement or help stimulate to increase your supply, and most insurances do cover it. I'll have a link down below to Aeroflow where they will deal with your insurance company and your doctor and all of that. You don't need to do anything, and then a pump will just show up at your door, which is pretty cool. And then with your milk coming in, the best thing that you can do is nurse your baby. I know they say that, but it's really true. Your baby's gonna be the one that will make sure your milk comes in and stimulate you, and honestly, they will do that their whole entire breastfeeding experience. So my tip number 2 is let your baby control for how long or when they eat. I know there's lots of schedules out there for a 2-week, a 4-week-old, a 3-month-old. In those first few months and weeks, there is no schedule. Just let your baby do what they know how to do. Don't try to force them to eat every 3 hours if they want to eat every 2 hours. They know what they need and how they need it. So that's another great advantage of the baby tracking app. You can kind of see that schedule form, but don't push it. Let your baby come to it naturally. Tip number 3 is get help. There are amazing lactation consultants out there, and they're here to help you. So get the help way before you even think you need it. Preventing things or kind of catching things early on will really make a difference. That doesn't mean that you can't correct things along the way. I recommend the ones that come to your house or the ones now that you can do virtually versus the ones that you go into the office. I just find that when they come and see you in your natural environment, they can really address it better than when you're at a doctor's visit. And most hospitals nowadays have support groups that specifically for new moms where they're led by a lactation consultant and they talk various items related to babies, especially in the first few months. Joining one of those groups really alleviated a lot of my anxiety. I would come and just be able to share openly and comfortably with other moms that are dealing with the same thing you are dealing with at the same time. Facebook is also a great place to find some of those support groups so that you can join locally. Tip number 4, breastfeeding has to work for both mommy, baby, and honestly the whole family. It has to work for your lifestyle and just you have to want to do it. Don't force yourself into something just because you feel like someone else wants you to do it. To make it work for you, I would recommend getting a nursing tank. These are key for me. Honestly, I am not a mom that buys a lot of nursing clothing, I guess, that's like actually advertises that. I never found them as cute or not really my style. But what I do is I put on a nursing tank under any kind of top, and now it is nursing friendly. These are just regular tank tops that have the little clasps at the top that you can unhook and basically nurse your baby. And again, I just put this under any top that I need to, and I can nurse my baby. It's awesome. Get a bunch of them. In the very beginning, you will be living in them. This is one from Target. Amazon also sells them, so I'll link a few down below. And then with that, you may want a nursing cover of some sort. So I like the 5-in-1 nursing covers. This is a copper and pearl one, but there's tons of out there. Lastly, with it working for you, celebrate for however long you did it. You want to do it for 2 weeks, that's great. You don't want to do it at all, that's also great. Do what works for you and just make sure that you celebrate the accomplishments versus giving yourself the pressure or the disappointment if you don't hit some kind of milestone. Tip number 5 is get yourself a nice, comfortable area. I really like a nice rocking chair, maybe get yourself a blanket. I have a whole video all around my nursing station, so if you want to see that, I'll link that below, so check it out. And with that, get yourself some pillows. You're gonna need to prop up that baby. You can use any pillows, or you can get some of the breastfeeding specific pillows. This is a boppy, or there's also the My Breast Friend. For me personally, I'm a boppy. I just could not deal with like clasping myself every single time with the My Breast Friend, but I have a lot of friends who do love that. Tip number 7, taking care of mommy so mommy can take care of baby. Number 1, you're definitely gonna want some nipple butter. I really like this Earth Mama organic one. I like the ingredients. I like how it comes on. Your baby can nurse on with it afterwards. So get yourself some nipple butter. You don't need more than one of these jars, and bring it to the hospital. You will want to use it basically right away. With that, you probably are gonna want some nursing pads. Don't go crazy. You don't know how many you're gonna need, but having a few on hand is good. And then I also really like these 3-in-1 therapy packs from Lensanone. They're basically, you can heat them or cool them, but they really are helpful for both engorgement, plugged ducts, mastitis, but also kind of to encourage supply and just alleviate any kind of pain. And then speaking of supply, you may be all over the spectrum. So there's tons of things out there that claim that they boost your supply or whatnot. Honestly, you're gonna find what does it for your body. For me personally, I need to eat a lot of protein, a lot of eggs and chicken, and that helps me. And so I do that in the beginning. Some moms swear by oatmeal and fenugreek. I caution you about any products out there that really swear by they boost it, because I don't know how much stuff is out there, and what works for one person might not work for another. The things I will say that I like are these traditional medicinal organic mother's milk tea. I just really like the taste. I do find that this does boost it a little bit. You're not gonna get magical. You're not gonna go from 1 ounce to 20 ounces. but it does help me a little bit. And I just really like this tea. In the summer, I will brew this and stick it in the fridge and then make like an Arnold Palmer with some lemonade, or in the winter, I just drink it hot. The other one that I have found that has helped me, that was recommended to me by a lactation consultant, is this Herb Lore nursing tincture. Again, this just worked for me, so like take it at that. And actually with my son, I had a little bit over, so I actually paused this because it was helping a little too much. Speaking of a little too much, some of the things that can happen is those plug ducts that I mentioned and mastitis. If you're dealing with that, I am so sorry. And so I actually had that with my son, and one of the things that I found is this sunflower lecithin helped me kind of prevent that from happening again. Basically, you have lecithin in your milk already, but this kind of just gives you a little bit more, and it thins out your milk a little bit so that it doesn't cause any of those plug ducts. So I just take this along with my prenatal. You basically want to take your prenatal the whole time you're nursing. I really like this Zoller prenatal with DHA. I just find that it has like a good amount of all the vitamins that I would need, plus it has DHA in it, so I don't need two separate vitamins ever. So I just take one pill of that twice a day. And of course, water. You need to hydrate a lot. Milk is like 96% water. And get yourself some snacks, either lactation cookies or just like some protein bars. You're gonna be hungry, especially in the middle of the night. So that is my breastfeeding must-have. This is the start of my breastfeeding mini-series. Coming up, I'll have videos all about my pumping 101, how to boost up your supply, freezer stash. If you're interested in any of those topics, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of the videos